That makes me smile.
Okay, so I do hear the music. Where's the second audio coming from? Do you hear that?
No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh,
There
you
we
can't
go.
hear. You couldn't
No,
hear
we're good
anything?
now.
Okay.
I had the stream on my YouTube going at the same time, so I was hearing.
Oh, so it was delayed.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone. We're just starting off with technical difficulties, right? Great.
on my end.
That's all good. You just couldn't hear anything?
No, I heard everything twice. So like I heard it through live stream, then I heard it through YouTube. There's must be like a 4-second delay between the live.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, that's why we had a few extra like leftover calls or leftover questions for the last time. They're like, try to sneak some in right as we were leaving.
Welcome, Jason. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome, Gerardo, Hillary. Anybody else who's kicking around, feel free to drop a hi in the chat window.
What's new?
Not much.
Yeah. I was looking over these.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
I know it was your birthday a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it was Tuesday or Monday. I don't know. One of the Monday. Yeah. I just ate everything.
You went from fasting last week to eating everything this week.
Yeah. Oh, I'm right back to where I was. All that hard work for nothing. Or for that day. Maybe it was just for that day.
So what did you like? Do you have a smoker? Like, did you cook anything special? Did you go out for dinner?
We actually did get ribs. Yeah, there's a place in town that has ribs. It's really good.
Good.
Ribs are hard. Do you smoke ribs? They're hard.
I've done it a few times.
Yeah, you can't do it.
The key is smoking it long enough. I think it's like 203 degrees Fahrenheit, so that
for 2 days.
Brisket I'll smoke for like 18 hours. Ribs about a day. I'm actually doing pulled pork this weekend on the smoker, and that's similar to ribs.
Yeah, see, I have that. I have that one down. Pulled pork is easy. Just mush it all up. There's a place in town, like just a grocery store, and they've got like some of the best ribs.
Cool. Well, sometime I'm going to have to take a trip down to.
Well, yeah, like you would go to Kansas City and have real good ribs. That's where.
Yeah. Or we can just meet up on a cruise ship and eat delicious food on a cruise ship for 7 or 10 days.
Isn't it wild to think like people like, I don't know. I was thinking about people just getting carted off of that thing. Like that's their last resting. That's their final thing is to go on vacation. And then it's a wild thing.
Yeah, totally. I've done, I don't remember how many Abraham-Hicks cruises we've done, like probably 6 or 7. And the last one we did, we call it the COVID cruise because it was the cruise where the minute we got off the ship, like our flights were canceled and we had a hard time getting home and stuff. It's almost like we were on the ship for 10 days, cut off from civilization and the news and all that stuff because most people don't have internet or anything like that. And then we get back to port on the last day and like it's chaos. The world was different. And it was a crazy cruise. Like the ship had to turn around twice to go back to port. There was a death on the ship. Like some crazy stuff happened. It was interesting.
That's what I'm saying. How often is there a death on the ship? Like every time?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
It's a floating city. How many people does it hold? 3,000.
Yeah, I mean,
How many
it,
people?
it was the first one I was ever aware of during an Abraham-Hicks cruise,
Uh,
but
oh,
who
so it
knows?
was someone from that was there for
Yeah,
Abraham stuff?
yeah, and I'm not going to get into the
Whoa.
story because it
Oh, you
was.
actually know it. Oh, that's terrible.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh shit.
um,
Oh,
yeah.
that's terrible.
Anyways, let's talk. Let's go into some other topics. So happy birthday for Nick Caldwell. Um, what are you going to talk about today? There's a couple of emails from people. I think it's a good idea to interact more with some of you guys and the people who are tuning in and see what they want us to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so that's what it was. The first one was a question about how to stay focused, how to stay focused on one field, one work field. You really want to create the best job and be productive, making money and creating for yourself. But I don't know which area to start. So they don't even know what area to start. So it sounds like there's lots
Yeah,
of
but
different polls.
so this is what I would say a common mistake that people make, and it's not anybody's fault that they're making this mistake, but it's this misconception that it's about which idea I choose or which path I take or what decision I make. And at the end of the day, that doesn't matter because the outcome of the path you choose, regardless of the path, is the outcome that's going to match what vibration you're practicing, right? So if you've got 5 business ideas, if you're an entrepreneur and you've got 5 what look like amazing ideas, and you're trying to figure out which of these ideas is the one that's going to be successful for me and make me the most money and make me the most successful. Well, if you're at the vibration of failure,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter which of those businesses you choose, the end result is still going to be failure. But if you're at the vibration of success, then again, doesn't matter which one you choose, the end result's going to be success. So really what I tell people is it comes down to, again, going within and then following your path of highest excitement.
Right. And I think that's like how I feel right now versus 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago is so
Yeah.
different. Like I had that question a month ago, and
Yeah.
like I've got all these ideas, but then it's like you said, you just relax into it. The best one comes to the surface. Like for right now, I'm like knee deep in this project, and to where the point is like I don't even have a focus problem. Things feel so different than they did 4 weeks ago. But it's
And you
hard to
think
hear. It's hard to hear when you're in a stage of looking, right? Like this
and
is going
and
to be the right one.
and looking is the activation of black vibration.
Yes.
Right. So that's going to push it away. And that's why when people say that your power's in the now, it truly is, because vibrationally, when you're just focused on your present moment, you're typically outside of practicing that dominant vibration of absence of desire, which most people practice.
Right. Yeah, I think sometimes too it's appealing to pick different things, right?
Yeah.
And find out which one is the one that gets you excited. And then that's when it changes.
And that's part of the process. So for me, building the sauna, I've got this magical sauna in my yard now. I use it almost every day. And I could have possibly bought a prefab kit and put it together, and it would have been less of a sauna for more money. But for me, the enjoyment of the 5-week journey of building the sauna is just as fun and delicious. And the creative process that goes into that is just as delicious as having the end result sitting in my yard.
Right. And so yeah, with that, like now if you wanted a sauna and a hot tub and a cold plunge, like all the 3 at once, right? I guess then you just pick one, right? Would you
Yeah,
ever
you
say
go,
that? Or do you just
yeah, you just go with whatever has the highest level of excitement for you.
right? And then all goes away the focus problem because it's
And
so
then
yeah,
and in the end, it doesn't even matter whether you have them or not.
right.
Because if you're fully making the enjoyment of your now moments the point, which is the journey, then doesn't matter if it takes you 5 weeks to build the sauna or 50 years. The enjoyment of the process is the enjoyment of the process.
Right.
Right.
How about with something like so you did a talk on Sunday? Was that Sunday?
Yeah, we did. So that was the first live event I've done since at least since COVID, probably close to 5 years. and it's sold out, which is great.
Yeah.
So that was like a 90-minute evening talk called "The Pillars to Your Connection to Source."
Hey, with something like that, does it feel different than building a sauna? Does that feel like work? So for this person, they're saying work field.
But again, if you're in, what is it that makes anything become labeled as work?
Okay.
Right? So like, I like doing weights in the morning. I've been doing them for a few weeks. Some people would say, yeah, work is, doing weights is so much work. And yeah, it's like, it's muscular work. It's work to push something. But to me, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like pleasure and enjoyment and the effects of my body feels. So like, I think people maybe need to visit their definitions of work. I think for most people, work equates to doing something I don't want to do. And that's what, needs to be explored for most people.
When you feel, let's stick with the workout example, right? If you felt like it was work, or this is really pushing myself to an uncomfortable level, like I don't like this, do you just step it back a notch, or do you just, because I think a lot of people would then just bail on the idea, like, well, I'm not working out tomorrow.
Well, I think it's about exploring the source of the discomfort, right? So, if you're doing an activity and then you recognize resistance and discomfort to that activity, for a lot of people, that activity is the path of highest excitement. And the discomfort that's coming through is inner critic programming, such as maybe fear, that's creating that discomfort. So if somebody asked me, now it wouldn't be an issue, but if like 5 or 8 years ago, somebody asked me to give a talk in front of, 10,000 people, part of me would be excited to do that. Part of me would be scared shitless to get on stage in front of 10,000 people. And that would create that resistant discomfort, right? And then from that place, I have a choice. I can either make the choice to back down and give into the resistance and the discomfort, or recognize that I am the source of my own discomfort and then work through it. Anytime somebody tells me they have a hard time making a decision on something, the first step is always working through the fears and the discomforts that are being triggered within yourself, because it's only once those fears and discomforts are gone that you can make a clear choice as to whether this feels like the exciting path for me to go down.
So do you have any fear or discomfort like Sunday? Did you have any of that?
I think for me, the discomfort kind of came afterwards.
Oh,
Not that it was strong discomfort, and it's stuff I've been processing for a couple of days. For me, when it comes to the local community here, there's never been as much traction as there's been online.
sure.
So, sold out talk, just under 60, 50 to 60 people. We talked about the pillars to the source connection. Like, people really enjoyed the talk. You could tell like the audience was into it. Near the end, I said, okay, how many people here want to go deeper and would want to get together for a one-day seminar to start integrating this stuff? Because a lot of people, when it comes to spiritual learning and growth and expansion, they read books, they listen to videos, they attend talks, but they collect a lot of stuff up here, but reality doesn't change a whole lot, because you need to integrate the work to see the effects of it in your life in a more concrete way. So I asked the question, I said, how many people here want to get together, want to go deeper, put your hands up. And I would say 90% of people had their hands up. And then follow up email next day. All right, how many people you are ready to take action? Here's a couple of dates. Here's a couple of options. Let me know who's interested. And then only 3 people respond back. Right.
Okay.
So, and that's something locally that I've never understood, is to, you can tell people are craving it and they want it, but there's still a disconnect between the people wanting it and them taking action on it. And I don't know if this is just a local thing here. Obviously there's something vibrationally that I need to clean up around the topic. And that's kind of what it showed me. So now part of this week for me has been sitting in this energy of like, in what way, what's reflecting back to me, where I really want to help people. I know how life-changing this stuff is. I want people to want it. in what way am I a vibrational match to this experience?
Yeah. So like with that, you would have been only satisfied if 20 people. How many would have made you happy?
I don't think I had a specific number in mind.
But 3 was bad.
Well, I want enough, I want at least a dozen people in order to
Sure.
run something for a full day, um, to help people integrate it at a deeper level. And maybe if only 5, 6 people, I do it anyways, for those people. So now it's just kind of allowing the dust to settle from that event, see how everything feels for me vibrationally, and then fine tuning my vibration and then moving on whatever impulses come next.
Did the energy feel different doing it live and in person?
You mean Zoom versus in person?
Yeah.
Yeah. In person, it feels there's more energy. There's more, you can feel, I did a couple of meditations with the group and stuff like that. And Nick said she could people saw the energy swirling. There were a lot of people crying. So there is maybe a bit more of an energetic impact in person, I would say.
Do you think they just get comfortable with that thing and they want to do that thing again versus like do more of a deeper dive? Almost sounds intimidating, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what
Right.
they think. At the end of the
Right.
day, it's my vibration, right?
Okay. So you just wanted to, I mean, you definitely want to go deeper. This was like an introductory thing.
Yeah, this was here are the pillars. I actually showed that clip of you and I talking a couple of weeks ago where you talking about your experience having those 3 best days of your life after practicing grounding for a week. So I shared that clip. A lot of these pillars to your connection to source, they're not complicated things, right? You don't need to worry whether your third eye is open. You don't need to worry what direction your chakras are spinning in. You don't need to worry about what crystals you have in your house. To me, all of that stuff is distraction. And it's part of everybody's journey, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in reality, your power comes from your connection to source. And yeah, grounding is a big part of that. Yeah, grounding is mundane and kind of boring. It's not magical like third eyes and chakras and crystals and magic, this, that, or the other thing. But grounding is still what harnesses your connection to your source self, and it's important.
Right. I'm still playing in grounding, so it is magical to me. So maybe it is a magical to a lot more people than you even realize.
Yeah, well, I mean, if these pillars that I went through in the talk, I think there was like 6 of them. If they weren't mundane or boring, if there was instant gratification, everybody would already be doing them.
Okay.
Right. But the truth of the matter is grounding is mundane and it doesn't provide instant feel good. It's these are things that are important. Yeah, you can see results from your reality fairly quickly if you commit to it and you hold it like you were talking about. But I think we're used to this seeking out of instant gratification, and things like TikTok or YouTube Shorts kind of reinforce that.
Well, I think for me, I was so in my head. And so I wouldn't say stressed but it was an anxious feeling. Like the thoughts arrive. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing this. This is how I'm planning out my own life instead of now releasing that. So it did feel magical. I don't know if I assume like if I came there looking for a relationship and I was taught to ground, maybe that wouldn't be satisfying. But in my case, it was ego and stress and anxiety. Grounding was magic.
For most people, if you learn to start living out of your head, because most people spend probably like 90% of their time or more up in here, people on this call or people who are watching the recording, if they're one of those people who are up here most of the time, and then you spend a week down in your body like you did, yeah, it's super magical.
100%. Hike and enjoy climbs. Oh, look at how smart you are. Look at that.
It's not me that's smart. It's my connection to my inner being that's providing.
This isn't a compliment. Thank you for the invite. I listen to Abe daily and go to at least one in-person workshop a year. I'm grateful to be able to listen today. Thanks for
Awesome.
joining
I
me.
love it. And I love that people see, what I talk about and what we talk about as the integration of the Abe work.
Yeah.
My experience going on the cruises, and I remember this early on, is, I would sit at a dinner table with a bunch of Abraham-Hicksers, and most of them were saying, yeah, I've been doing cruises for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but their life hadn't wasn't like the magical shifted reality that most people would expect. And to me, it was apparent that you feel really good at an Abe seminar, and you feel really good on the cruise, and you feel really good when you're listening to those YouTube videos. But again, there's integration that is needed in order to really see the impact of the teachings in your day-to-day life. And I think with Abraham-Hicks, because her dominant intent is upliftment, a lot of what's missing from that message is that integration work. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not the path of, what Abraham-Hicks is supposed to be doing or teaching, the integration stuff.
And so the other email that came in was about unwanted habits. And so how much of that do you think is related to habit?
Yeah, for me, it's like when people say habits, what also drops into kind of my headspace is like comfort zone. And I think comfort zone is a habit, right? It's the habit of doing what is familiar to me because this is where I feel safe and secure. And I think, one time when we were in Mallorca, we were hanging out with a bunch of community members and facilitators, and Anik and I were talking about that Jim Carrey movie,
The
Yes
one?
Man,
Yeah.
where he says yes to everything. And we were chatting about how the way to experience the absolute most amount of expansion in your reality would be to not question any impulse or any opportunity and just say yes to everything.
That's the challenge. How long can you do that for? I wonder if we should do that sometime.
Yeah, I'd have to feel that one out for a bit before jumping on that wagon.
Right. So and it feels different. Like when you're in the state of the thing, like for me, this is where I want to be. This feels way different than 4 weeks ago. Like I noticed I'm not doing the same things I was doing. The habits have changed because they have.
I love that you're saying that. So a lot of people talk about the new earth, and this is something that Dave was in the chat brought up in our Facebook group this week. There's this spiritual topic of ascension and like a new earth, and people literally think that like the earth is going to like change into a different planet overnight, or that people around you are just going to start to evaporate into thin air because they don't transition to the new earth or they don't ascend or any of this stuff. And like the reality is that new earth is already here. It's been here. So like when you're in, physical only you, that's 3D, right? Three-dimensional you, the human part of you that's existing on a physical planet. 5D is the spiritual, non-physical source self you, right? So as you expand, as your vibration raises, 3D never goes away. You're always part of 3D as long as you exist as a human. You might integrate more of your 5D and become more of 5D. So like when you're 5D, every D below it still exists. When you're in 7D, every D below that still exists, right? So it's not the earth that's changing, it's you that change. And as you change, you experience physical reality differently. And that's exactly what you described after your grounding experience, where you said, nothing, I did this for 7 days. There was no money that manifested, no new car, but I had 3 of the best days of my entire life. Right. And the reason for that is not because reality changed, but it's because you changed. And people feel these discomforts. So they want a new job and they want to make more money and they want to make the right decisions in their life. But the fact of the matter is everything you want externally is because of a discomfort you probably feel internally. And the path to the reality you want to be experienced always comes down to processing the internal.
Right.
Sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
No, it's great. And you said that week when I told you all that okay, but what happens if you just keep replaying that week? If you keep staying in that grounded thing? Because you said, when I said nothing's manifested, you go, yet. Nothing's manifested yet. And here we are. It's manifesting. And it is radically different. And the only step I did was that one change, right?
Grounding.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
And
it's
so,
funny because at my talk on Sunday, I asked the audience the question, how many of you guys have heard of the term grounding before? How many of you guys know what grounding is? Everybody put their hand up.
sure.
Right. So it comes back to what I said earlier, is like, it's overlooked because it's such a simple thing and people aren't consciously aware that living in your body and being in your body is what allows you to access that source connections for it to feed you information, guidance, impulses, all of those things.
It is interesting though, when you said that when you're living in this different space, it does feel like a different space.
Yeah,
You know?
totally. Reality is literally different.
Yeah. I've never heard of 70. What's 70? How many
I don't know.
D's are there? Are there?
I mean,
Is there? Did you just make that up?
there's probably infinite dimensions, infinite D's.
Infinite D's.
Yeah, we had some good D jokes going on in that Facebook. I forget what I wrote.
Huh. Okay. Staying anonymous is easy in a group for many folks. They panic and feel like they have to get in front. So maybe they're explaining why the deeper level, perhaps. But I don't know.
That's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine most people here would want like a one-on-one session. It is a different level of things, but
yeah. So like the type of seminar that I'm going to be doing, that one-day seminar, if I get the impulse to move forward with it, it's a lot of like subconscious alchemy, which is like like a hypnosis type thing. Like it's a lot of experiential group things, because again, we need to move, the intellectual part's important. So it's important to understand, the importance of grounding and the importance of living with an expanded energy field. That's another topic. A lot of people understand what it feels like and what it looks like to have your energy field expanded or contracted. But people don't realize that the size of your energy field and where your energy field typically sits also impacts your level of receptivity and how much you can receive from source. And because most people are living stressed, under pressure, anxious, fearful, all of those things, what do? They they make you close up. They retract your energy field. So it retracts you from your connection to source. Again, these are very simple things, but they're overlooked.
With something like that, how well does it play over Zoom, like a meditation like that? That sounds really fun. I bet a lot of people on this call would want that.
Yeah.
I want it.
So here's a quick story of subconscious alchemy.
Okay. Yeah.
So subconscious alchemy is kind of this process that I developed, which combines hypnosis with some other tools and techniques that I've learned. And I wasn't sure if I could do this hypnosis stuff over Zoom. So I messaged Collective. I said, hey, I'm looking for 6 people to test something out for me who wants to hop on a Zoom call. And I think I had like 6 or 8 people. And this was during those Johnny Depp trials.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me see if I can get these people under hypnosis and play. And they were all game to play. They didn't know what to expect. And I got them under this state, and I said, okay, when you open your eyes, you're going to think, feel, and believe that I am Johnny Depp. Oh. And one of the ladies, she just almost lost it. She was watching all the Johnny Depp trials. She was a big fan of Johnny Depp. And she was like, Johnny, we can help you. We have some amazing things we can teach you. I know this book and all this stuff. It was hilarious. So to me, that was evidence that yes, it could be done over Zoom. And then for about a year and a half, I was using this process, and I use it sometimes with my School of Expansion Mastery group, which is what I call subconscious alchemy, which is going in and doing kind of subconscious work using some stuff similar to hypnosis.
Yeah, I'm joining one of those one time because that's
Did
fun.
did you do one with us? I don't think so. I don't know.
I know. I'm saying the next time
Okay,
you do it, I want to be a part of this. I want to feel this.
Yeah, a lot of the ones we do are on things like what are some of the top for those of you who are here that did subconscious alchemy? Do you guys remember some of the topics? One of them was being the authentic me.
Okay.
When I was first prototyping these scripts that I use with this stuff, I helped one with Anik to be more of her authentic self.
Yeah.
And the very next day we went to the market and public and stuff like that. And you could tell her demeanor was more confident. She was more interactive with people. And again, this is all happening at a subconscious level. People don't even realize that those sessions have an impact until like in reality, like a day or two later, they're noticing their behavior is different.
See, that's good. Let's go. I want that.
Oh, it's super fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like a jujitsu master of wisdom, a Jedi of wisdom, mirrorship. Okay. Never been able to get any success with hypnosis. I can't turn off the inner commentary that's saying this won't work. See, for me, it's like that relaxed state, and I like being relaxed. That's
so
it.
Jason, are you talking about a guided audio hypnosis or a literally sitting with somebody, whether it be Zoom or in person, somebody who's literally guiding you through the process? Because those are two very different things.
Right. And I think that for me, I've done some stuff with you with that, and it's just so relaxed. Like even in your calls on Wednesdays, it's like you'll do that like meditation, and it's like you relax into that vibration. And so is that hypnosis? I don't know, but it feels the same.
Yeah, it's not. I would say it's not hypnosis. Okay. A lot of people kind of confuse the two, and they are quite similar. You know, guided. People have these guided hypnosis audios. To me, I don't consider those hypnosis. I consider those more like a guided meditation.
Yeah, never had a live session, so that's probably part of it.
Yeah, I would say so.
Is that the thing, like you can recognize that they're like still checked in and you can just take them deeper where another, okay, cool.
Totally. And like when you're physically present with somebody, you can like pick up their arm and drop their arm and you say as your arm drops, you feel yourself going deeper and deeper. And there's stuff you can do with eyes. So like you get them to open and close their eyes. So it's like, it goes beyond just meditation of being in stillness. You're literally getting them to do things and snap in and out of consciousness while they're in the process.
What's if you have a group out of 10, are 9 of them in or 8 of them in? How many are in that state on average?
I've done different, I would say it also depends on how many times the person has done it. So typically like the first time you're doing it, your mind is very curious. It's maybe a little bit uncertain. So you don't quite go as deep. Typically by the third session, people are like out cold. And I would say like 90% of people go super deep by their second or third session. Some people think there's this misnomer with hypnosis that it just doesn't work on some people. And it's not that it doesn't work on some people. It's that those people are practicing some form of resistance. Fear of letting go of control is typically probably the main one.
Can you hypnotize me into being an ascended master? How about that?
I could hypnotize you to think you're an ascended master. The question I would have to respond with to that comment is what makes you believe you aren't already one?
Yeah, maybe that's it, right?
Everybody here is already an ascended master.
And so they just need to think that they are and align with that, right?
I think seeking to be an ascended master is not something an ascended master does.
Yeah, right. Are you an ascended master?
We're all ascended masters.
Oh, okay, that's right. You just got done saying that. Your level feels like different.
It's the coffee.
Yeah, right.
This is a delicious Guatemalan blend today, by the way. I'm loving it.
Oh, you have the different blends.
Yeah, it's funny. So 2 weeks ago, 2 Sundays ago, I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to order some really high quality coffee online. I'll have it for my call on Wednesday."
Yeah.
And it took like over 2 weeks to get here. It got here like almost like last Wednesday afternoon after the call, or Thursday. And the irony is, the name of the coffee company is Detour Coffee. So I was like, "Oh, maybe they should have been a little bit more careful with the choice of name."
Was it fresh? Could you tell if it was fresh?
Oh
I
yeah.
just get less local
So
stuff.
with this coffee brand, what I've noticed, I bought 4 bags, and of the 3 bags I've made, it's almost like oily at the surface.
Uh-huh.
And I wonder if that's an indication of freshness, which I'm guessing it is. It actually took like 4 or 5 days before they even shipped it, because I think they roast it, like, so it's like freshly roasted right before they ship it.
Yeah, I would think that a couple weeks you're fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just buy that locally. They roast it here in town.
Freshly roasted coffee does not compare to the bagged crap you buy at the grocery store.
You got to start roasting your own. Just get a big
I'm tempted.
roaster.
I have a friend who had. You can buy these little mini roasters.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting that coffee beans are actually green before they're roasted.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, how many of you? I think so. I've seen green ones pre-roasted.
Listen, I need questions. We could do anything with vibration. I feel exalted all day to know.
With my know-how with vibration. Awesome. As long as you're having fun, that's the important part.
Bulletproof coffee.
On the cheap.
Yeah,
you know what? I used to do bulletproof, and because I've always had these blood sugar issues, and yesterday I got my hands on this supplement which has some kind of digestive enzyme to process sugar.
Oh.
And I've got the same mental clarity I had when I completely stopped sugar and was doing keto and bulletproof. So today I've got the same mental clarity. And for the first time that I can remember in years, I woke up this morning without like this really big hunger in my stomach. And I slept in 2 hours later than I normally sleep, which is insane. I can't wait to keep taking this to see what the long-term effects are going to be.
What, you think that it brought out that your body needs sleep? It needs to relax?
I don't know. I typically wake up between 5:30 and 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And when I wake up, I'm always like ravenously hungry, like to the point where like if I don't eat within an hour, I'll get a migraine.
Yeah, you said that.
And this morning I slept till like almost 8 o'clock and I wasn't hungry when I woke up. And that's like the first time I don't even remember last time that happened.
Yeah, that was the one thing with the fasting every other day. It built up that you're not hungry.
Yep.
I adapted pretty quick. I don't like, see, do you like that? Like butter in coffee? I don't want butter, or I don't want coconut oil in my coffee.
I didn't mind it. I liked how filling it was.
Yeah.
But when I went off it, I had like stomach pains for like a good number of months, almost as if like the MCT oil did something to my intestines or my stomach, where when I stopped taking it, it's like I don't know, it had a negative side effect or something. And eventually it went away over a few months. I liked the way doing keto and bulletproof made my brain feel like clarity. And I know it's from cutting out the sugar. And so far it seems like this new enzyme, which is designed to help process sugar, it seems to be helping with.
Yeah, like a glycine is good for lower, so maybe that's what it is. It has a little glycine in it.
It's got glycine. It's got something called sucralase or something like that. It's some enzyme that was studied at Harvard or something like that.
Get deeper sleep on my Aura ring.
Oh, I should look for an Aura ring. I should see if there's any good Black Friday sales for Aura rings. How many people are looking at Black Friday sales? What's everybody buying for Black Friday?
Dude, I had to buy a whole new MacBook. Like everything exploded on me last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went wild. But I always do that during my birthday week. So like I got the brand new MacBook. It's killer.
That's a perfect time for Black Friday during your birthday. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I got now I have a keyboard. Now I have like a little MIDI keyboard so I can start jamming out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So are you making music?
No, so I was doing like some ASMR stuff and then it wasn't syncing up right. And so I'm like, I'm gonna match it directly. I'm gonna program it into a key.
ASMR I find is hilarious. The first thing that that comes to mind with ASMR is my kids showing me these like TikTok or YouTube videos of like people eating Skittles and having the microphone up to the side of their mouth
That's
and
funny.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of one or half-day seminars online? See, this is what I'm asking about. How about that?
I mean, if enough people wanted a half-day seminar online, yeah. I mean, tell me what topic you guys want. So let's ask the audience. So we've got 40 some people here. How many of you guys would want a half-day seminar, and what topic would you want to see explored on that half-day seminar?
Half-day meaning like a 4-hour thing, or
or 3 hours, like maybe like 1 to 4, something like that.
All right. So when you said becoming your true self or the best version of yourself, right? With that hypnosis, that was good. That's exciting.
Yeah. And my favorite thing to do with those was to implant specific key anchor statements. And then so that when the person hears that anchor statement, it activates a feeling. So, and then I would go and when I was creating my Abraham-Hicks remixes, I would put those specific words in the music so that when they would listen to those remixes, it would reactivate that state of being.
Yeah, they want it. They love it. Yes. You're gonna buy a 1v1. They're gonna battle you. Jedi versus Jedi. Okay. So speaking of the like can you self-hypnosis? Do self-hypnosis? As I stutter it out.
I mean, not true hypnosis because you still need somebody guiding the session.
Right.
You could record, but even me, I don't like listening to my own guided meditations because it's like there's just something weird about listening to your own voice.
It's a wild thing, right? You're criticizing it in some level.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody go back to that last comment.
Yeah. Which one? This one? Oh.
No.
Where were we at? Oh, this.
You can use your own vibration, meditation, sound healing techniques to make your body believe you took higher caliber supplements without taking them. Yeah, but it's easier to just swallow a pill and spend a whole bunch of time trying to do all that stuff.
Yeah, and pee it all out anyway.
I mean, it's all about path of least resistance. People often say the words, and I always laugh at this. They'll say, "Oh, you have all the answers within. You don't need to go get help from anybody or go read books from anybody or any of this stuff."
Right.
And like in theory, yes, we have all the answers within, but like source leads us to the cooperative components that bring us the answers.
Right.
So by denying yourself access to all of these sources of information, you're denying yourself possibly to the path of least resistance.
Any advice for someone who has become resistant to travel?
It's not safe to travel because if I do,
right,
and then see what comes up.
Right. Go ahead and go through that just in case they don't know this process. So any fear, right? You ask yourself, it's not safe to do this because why? Or I want to manifest $1 million today and it's not safe because, and then I dive into that, right?
Yeah. So if there's a fear, then the fear's going to pop up. If you're grounded in your body, a lot of people, the reason it's so much more productive or effective to do it with a facilitator is because a facilitator holds the energy of the solution, and a good facilitator will keep you out of your head. So it's hard to like think up these thoughts and ask these questions and be in your head, but not be in your head at the same time to receive the answer.
Do you think that the alternative there would be to like kind of just journal? Have you ever just like, I've just like flow of consciousness journaled, and then like within the 20 minutes, half hour, then you dive into the real stuff. Like your brain has taken a break from it all.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying about having a practitioner being big.
It's almost like you're fatiguing your brain to the point where your brain just kind of takes a little time out for a bit, and maybe it allows the stream of consciousness to flow a little bit better.
Yeah, and gives you the real answer, right? Permission slips of least resistance.
Oh, hey Ken, how you doing? Send me an update. I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah. Okay. No questions. Look at 50 people on call. Let's go. I've exhausted my questions. You've made life perfect.
I want to know what people would want for a half-day seminar.
Yeah.
Drop it in the chat window. If we could spend 3 hours or 4 hours digging into any topic you want or helping you experience any shift that you want, what would you look for?
So with a thing like becoming your best self versus here's how to make money. Let's just say
you already are your best self.
No, I know, but people don't know this.
Right.
Right? And that's what you're saying. That's part of all this is bringing out. Yeah, you forget. You forget that you're like, no, people are having problems.
Yeah.
What would you fix? Anything?
What would I fix?
Yeah, what would your one-day seminar be?
For myself?
Sure.
That's a damn good question. I don't know. Nothing comes to mind.
You have to get wild, right? Because you've already thought of everything else.
No, it's just more like I'm not seeking.
Ah.
And maybe that's where most people are at.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe most people aren't looking for seminars because they're not seeking.
Do you think that's the case? What are they watching for?
I don't know.
This is a seeker podcast, isn't it? I'm seeking information. Maybe they just want to be around the energy of you.
Or seeking a different reality or attuning to vibration.
Okay, so connection to source. How about how to sharpen our receptive mode?
Which comes with connection to source.
All right. How to be more in tune with my inner being source.
Connection to source.
What to do if you punch yourself off the connect. I thought literally punch yourself off the connection, and your mind is just freaking around and messing up the vibes. Okay, that's great.
Back to being in your body. It's that simple.
Right, connection to source. Ways to be more resilient adventurer. All right.
Connection to source.
Okay.
Because when you're connected to source, you understand that your fears aren't valid anymore. When you're in here, there's no fear, right? There's only tune into that unconditional love and that overflow and all the delicious stuff.
Right. Alignment. Simplify.
Another word for
tap
connection.
in your natural charisma and bring it out in relationships and your business marketing.
Yeah, and that's just being yourself. Being yourself, which comes with connection to source.
I'd like to teach people that we all have vibrations within us. So that means you can think of
you have within you.
Oh. Yeah, I get tripped up on language here. The universe is holographic. How about that? The universe is holographic. Is that connection to source?
I mean, I would say the universe is an experience.
Yeah.
What we can define it as holographic if we want. It's like Minecraft.
Right.
We're just in one big giant Minecraft game right now.
It's the best. Just love discussions on people being connected to source and playing with refining attunement and attract collaborators.
I like those words, refining attunement, because that's what it is, right? The more you do this work and the more expansion you experience, the more refined you have to get with the vibrations and what you're practicing.
Freedom, receptivity, courage. I wish sometimes I could say computer end program, especially when I have the runs. That's that MCT oil. You go.
A little too much MCT.
Yeah, you stay away from that bulletproof coffee because there's nothing good about it. So there you go. I think that there is a lot of that. It's exactly what you said. It's connection. You package that. These people are into it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, that's what we talk about every week in the School of Expansion.
Right.
I mean, we literally have discussions directly with Source through Anik when she channels. So I can't think of, any more way to better way to interface with Source.
My thing cut out last time. My internet went down. What the hell was that? Yeah, I know. I didn't finish it. I gotta go back.
No Source for you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was terrible. It was like you were talking and just stayed forever. I got kicked off. Oh,
Cool.
yeah. 45-minute call today. 49-minute call. Unless people have more questions.
Yeah. No. What did you set any? So you said last week that every month you set a different intention or a
Yeah.
different goal. So do you set like a yearly goal?
I can't go beyond like even 3 months. I have a real hard time with far stuff. Even though a week, sometimes I'll look back on my weekly stuff and be like, oh wow, I'm not in that state anymore.
Yeah.
And what mattered to me a week ago. So it's
Yeah.
almost like you need to just be more vague, or I need to be more vague in my goals.
I would say I can't go beyond a day.
Really? Yeah.
And
Well,
I
it's
think
so wild.
and I think you'll notice that the more time you spend in present moment awareness, the more irrelevant setting your goal for 3 months or 1 year down the road, the more irrelevant that becomes, because you understand that like everything is really just happening now.
Yeah, I do. I like that little anchorness. I like to set a point, because it does, like, especially for something like eating, right? If I'm being dedicated this week, it makes decision making a little easier. Like,
Yeah,
I just
totally.
kind of fire that part of my brain.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing wrong at all with intention setting. I mean, that's what you're doing.
Why am I here? Tell her. Tell her why she's here and her purpose.
You're here for the exploration of what is physical reality.
Right? And like,
It's
and then
really
you
that
can't mess it
simple.
up.
No, you can't mess it up. It's an exploration. How do you screw up an exploration? The only way you can screw up an exploration is by not exploring.
Right.
You get to choose whether you have a fun exploration, an exciting exploration, a boring exploration. You get to decide how much you get to experience, how little you get to experience. Yeah, we all get to choose how we want to explore in our explorations.
Do you ever dip your toe into like going way beyond yourself? Like today, I guess you made a sauna. That's pretty wild. You've never made a sauna
I've never
before.
done anything like that. For me, there's something about, there's two things that I really love. One is being creativity. So like, I love writing books. I love like doing those DJ sets. I love doing these calls. I love building saunas. So anything that has like a creative aspect to, I'm naturally drawn to. And I love teaching. I love exploring the leading edge. I like pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So for me, those are the things that I would say really kind of light me up the most. And everybody here has their things. That's kind of what Anik talks about in those soul essence blueprints.
Yeah. I think with that far-reaching stuff, sometimes it really is appealing, but sometimes it just feels like a chore.
Like what? Like what's a far-reaching stuff?
I don't know. Like, okay, could you do like some parlor tricks and say, oh, okay, today I'm going to manifest $1,000? Do you ever try to like test things? See how that almost feels uncomfortable? So you almost like winced. Like, yeah, but. And that's what I'm saying, far-reaching things. Because on the surface, if $1,000 would be fine, that would be a fun thing to do, make happen today, or winning the lottery, scratching off a ticket. But then there is a part of you that like, and I have the same feeling.
Even winning the lottery doesn't feel exciting. As weird as that
Does it
sounds,
feel stressful?
No, it just feels neutral.
Okay.
Like big deal, won the lottery, so what?
Right. I've never felt winning the lot. Winning something does have an excitement to it. So, when was the last time you won something? Maybe it's exciting to get in that exciting feeling.
I don't know. I must have, but I mean, I would consider synchronicity winning something too.
Sure. You froze.
No,
Oh,
it's
there
I'm
you go.
back. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. Okay.
It's like, earlier how we talked about how for you, your grounding shifted the way you experience reality.
Yeah.
Well, like, I've been in that, shifted place for a while and it keeps shifting. Right. But for me, if I look at how I perceive and how I experience reality compared to maybe 10 years ago, it's like, as weird as it sounds, like manifesting millions of dollars isn't exciting. Like even like selling thousands of copies of books.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool. You know, like my book so far, I've done over 12,000 copies. It's like, oh, great, I've done 12,000 copies. But like, if I write another book, it's like, I don't really care, right? It's almost like the external, that we crave these external things for so long. Once you're more kind of embodied, and we'll call it the new reality, whatever you want to call this different state of being, it's like none of the external stuff matters as much as how you feel in your now moments.
Right. And it is. It's like winning the lottery at all times, right? Because
Yeah, it's just,
you appreciate it more. You appreciate the simpleness more.
yeah, there's just like a deeper appreciation for like laying in the sun or sitting in a sauna or having a really expansive conversation with a friend, or talking to 50 some people in a crowd, making them aware of source connection. It's not about numbers, it's about like the experientialism of it.
Oops, I clicked the wrong one. I resonated with the idea that we don't need the manifestation to create the emotion. The manifestation would help to create. Okay. We create the emotion unconditionally, and then law of attraction makes it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way I perceive law of attraction manifestation now, it's a form of giving your power away. I'm
Okay.
giving my power away in the search or the need for this external experience happen in order to have a better state of being.
Okay. So you're saying by seeking that, it makes you feel less? Is that what you're saying?
So if there's somebody who is looking for $1 million,
Sure.
right? I'm doing everything I can to try to crack the code and find the formula to manifesting a lottery win. Well, if manifesting that lottery win is going to improve your state of being, then you're giving your power away over that state of being to need that lottery win or whatever that external thing is.
Yeah. Yeah. What? I missed that. School taster.
Sarah's idea of school taster. I don't know what that is.
Oh, let's go to find it.
What about a taster to the school? This is a taster. If you're enjoying what we're doing here and you want to integrate at a deeper level and go deeper and experience NX channeling, and that's school of expansion.
Yeah,
when it comes to signing up to stuff, again, it's not about intellectual. Is this what I need? It's always about the feeling state. Like any other decision, you feel it out. Does this feel right for me? Either it does or it doesn't.
Right. State of being is the main event. The manifestations are distant cherries on top. Exaltation is what's most fun to me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Dig deeper into the topic of giving the power away again. So anytime you need something external to change in order to improve on your state of being, you're giving your power away. Right? Because you can't control circumstance. So if circumstance is dictating your emotional state, then you're literally giving your power away to that circumstance.
And in the meantime, it still does happen. It's a wild thing. It happens more so by letting it go.
Yeah, I mean, it happens by default because we're so programmed to be attached to reality.
Yeah. Well, attached to reality, but like I definitely feel more attached to reality by grounding, right? Or more in the moment.
I would say you're more present in reality.
Okay.
But your attachment to what's going to happen next week or 3 months down the road is probably lightened.
Yeah.
Because you understand, the more time you spend in present moment awareness, the more you realize and recognize that present moment awareness is really all that matters.
Yeah. What about learning to be bulletproof around outside experiences and cleaning up one state of being? Okay, so maybe more of a thought of the half-day workshop.
Yeah, I would say that's all about digging into yourself to identify those non-bulletproof aspects of yourself, and then that's where the cleaning takes place. So like if outside circumstances trigger me into feeling not good enough, then the only way that can happen is if I'm already practicing not good enough in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's heady though, right?
Heady?
Yeah, I don't know. That felt like overcomplicating things a little bit for me.
Actually, it's quite simple. So like,
okay,
let's say you've got like, who's the most confident person you can think of?
sure, you.
No, don't use me.
Why not?
Let's say like, okay, so if somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, Nick, you suck. You're not good enough,"
Okay,
like that wouldn't phase me because I understand that that's their awareness, right?
Mm.
That's not who I am. Or if somebody walked up to The Rock or Arnold Schwarzenegger, a super confident person, and said, "Hey, you suck," they would brush it off. But if you walk up to somebody on the street who's got super low self-confidence and say, "Hey, you're not good enough, you suck," they're going to take that to heart and they're going to feel crushed about it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's never about the circumstance. It's always about what we're practicing within us.
Yeah. I mean, is that what she's feeling by outside experiences though? I mean, like, are people genuinely worried of, I guess, other people's opinions? But that would be devastating if someone walked up to me and said, I suck.
Right. But then you want to explore, why am I buying into what they're saying?
Yeah. But I mean, is that what she's asking here? Like, I can't imagine these things happen to her.
No, but those are simplified examples, right? That
Yeah.
applies to all things. So like for some people, it's not about how other people are responding to them, but how circumstances are responding to them.
Sure. That's where
Right.
it's at.
So like
Bulletproof.
if your business is flatlined for 20 years,
Mm.
well, you're going to tell a story that, oh, I suck because I can't get my business working and all my friends are getting it to work.
Right. And then that's the cycle.
Yeah.
Okay. People want lottery wins. You're the only one that doesn't want the lottery win. Okay. Listen, I'm good. This is a good show.
Awesome.
It's powerful.
Fun as always. And I'm gonna get everybody who's listening, if there's any topic you want us to discuss next week, send an email, nick@nickbreau.com. And we'll add it to our conversation list. I love the idea of more inspired topics and more interactions with what people want to hear. Any final thoughts, Mr. Caldwell?
Nothing from my end. Thank you for everything.
You gonna do anything else to celebrate your birthday week?
Oh, my birthday was 2 days ago. It's back to work now. It's back to getting it.
Back to playing on your Mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
See ya.